Hi everybody, it's Brannigan'sLaw 84. I haven't been on in a while. But I've definitely been buying movies, and I decided instead, or this time, to do something a little different. Instead of doing a haul video, I'm gonna talk about something that was recently announced, and I'm pretty sure there's lots of other videos that are out there right now, but for this particular thing, but I felt like I should do something as well. So I'm here to talk about the Friday the 13th collection, the deluxe edition that's right here on the screen. And I saw that it was announced back on Monday. But I mean, if you're like me, you follow the news. There had been, I think, going as far back as maybe March. I think it was. There were some rumors that were going around there was one gentleman from Friday the 13th Part 6. He mentioned that he had just recorded a commentary for an upcoming box set, and then the director, that was Vincent Guastafaro, who plays Deputy Rick, wherever the red dot goes, ya bang, when he says that with the laser sight on his gun that he has in Jason Lives. And then the director of Jason Goes to Hell, Adam Marcus, also mentioned that there was a new that his film was being remastered for a new box set. Well, everybody was basically, all the signs were pointing to Shout, or should I say Scream Factory, that they were gonna put something out because they're the only ones right now that have major deals, sub-licensing deals with some of the big studios like Warner Brothers and Paramount. That they're the only ones that have these big deals. I don't think anybody, maybe Kino. I think Kino Lorber might have some deals with Warner and Paramount, but I'm not 100% sure there. But that all the signs were pointing to this. They had been really quiet online. People were digging up stuff. Like I know that there was a tweet that went out about Vinegar. One of the guys from Vinegar Syndrome, and this tweet was deleted. But the tweet basically said that he had work print footage from basically like every film in the franchise, and one of them was part two, and that I found was pretty interesting because the only other time I've ever seen anything like that mentioned, because going farther back, and this is another reason why I wanted to do this video, to go into the history, because I'm a big fan of the franchise. I mean, I love all the major horror franchises, but Friday the 13th in particular, I have some of the previous box sets. And before I get into talking about the deleted footage and stuff like that, it's important to go back to the original DVD box set, which was called From Crystal Lake to Manhattan. That one was announced, I believe, in either late 2003 or early 2004, and it came out in the fall of 2004. Now, the guy who put that together, I forget his name. This was long ago, but this is me showing my age, because I mean, even back then there were DVD sites and they were doing interviews and stuff just like they do now. But somebody asked him if there was going to be uncut footage, or the uncut versions, and I specifically remember, because this was a quote. The guy was quoted as saying, "I'm dying to prove you wrong." And that got a lot of people hyped up that the DVD releases, this DVD box set was going to contain the uncut versions. And then I think it was September or October 2004, the box set came out. I remember going to Best Buy and seeing it there. Excuse me. And it was just a packaging of the existing DVDs that had come out to that point. The the DVDs had been coming out since about 99 or 2000, and they had been coming out like one or two at a time, and by that point they had them all it was just each film. There were both two films per DVD with an additional bonus disc, and then the Best Buy version came with an extra DVD, which was a 29-minute feature, which has now already been on the further DVD releases, which was called Jason Forever. It was a panel discussion at a horror convention with all the Jason actors. Well, that came out. Some of the extra footage was on there, mostly from part one, and then some of the deleted footage from part four. And I believe also that was the first time the footage from part seven uh, came out, because there had been talk about that previously, that Kane Hodder and I believe also John Carl Buechler had at conventions shown this footage on VHS tapes. So they ended up putting that footage on the box sets when it first made its, I guess, public appearance, for anybody to see. And then that was 2004. Then in 2009, Daniel Ferrans, who had created the from Crystal Lake, the Crystal Lake Memories documentary and the Never Sleep Again documentary for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, he went digging through the Paramount vaults and he started finding extra stuff. So he went that they went ahead and they created deluxe edition DVDs. Now this wasn't a box set right away. They were releasing them individually because I picked up some of these, even though I already had the From Crystal Lake to Manhattan set. But I started picking up these deluxe editions because they started to actually have some more extras. Because I remember on the original box set there wasn't a lot of extras on the individual releases. This almost all the extra material was relegated to the final bonus disc. I remember, I believe part one didn't have any extras, part two didn't have any extras, part three had the cast commentary, and that's important to note in a few minutes. Part four didn't have any extras on it. Part five didn't have any extras. Part six and seven and eight had commentaries from the directors, but that was it. The From Crystal Lake to Manhattan set didn't have a lot of extras on the individual movies. That's where these deluxe editions came in, and the deluxe editions did have quite a few more extras. I mean, we had for the first time ever, we had the uncut version of the original Friday the 13th. I believe also the Warner Brothers, the commentary. This is an edited together commentary from interviews. It had been overseas for a long time on the Warner Brothers release, I believe in the UK. That one got ported over here to the States. Part two still didn't have a commentary, but I believe that there were no. I'm sorry, there weren't any extras on part two either. Part three, for the deluxe edition, finally had a 3D version, but this is the where you can use the red and blue glasses, and I remember picking that up. That one didn't, and that one actually dropped the cast audio commentary from part three because the cast audio commentary has Dana Kimmel, Larry Zerner, Paul Krotka, and Richard Brooker, the actor who played Jason in part three. For some reason, that commentary didn't come out on the deluxe edition for part three. Part four, which is a lot of people's most people tend to say either part four or part six are the best one, or is the best one in the franchise. I tend to go with the former, which is part four. I love part four. That the final chapter is awesome. That one finally got a lot of extras. There was two audio commentaries, one from the director Joe Zito, and then there was a fan commentary from Adam Green and Joe Lynch, which was really really awesome. I mean, it's really funny, and I mean it's all I've heard it multiple times. So these guys are clear fans of the franchise. So that with part four, they also found the lost ending, which was a dream sequence. There was no sound to it, but they found that. Part five also had a commentary with the director Danny Steinman, Shavera Ross, and John Shepard, the actor who played Tommy. So that was an additional thing that they added in there for part five, and that was interesting because Danny Steinman hadn't directed anything. He actually had a bicycle accident where he got hit by a car years later. If you look up on Google, if you Google Danny Steinman interview, there's an interview that's on a blog where he goes into very articulate detail about what happened to him and why he didn't direct any more films after Friday the 13th Part 5. Then Part 6, if I'm not mistaken, Part 6 actually had a new commentary that was done by Tom McLaughlin. And then Part 7 also had a new commentary, which also, I believe the first commentary was Kane Hodder and John Carl Buechler. And this new commentary had Lar Park Lincoln join them in. And then Part 8 had a commentary that had um, I'm trying to remember his first name. I just remember his name is Reeves. That's his last name. Scott Reeves, the actor who was the male lead in Part 8, and then Jensen Daggett, I believe, was also on the commentary, and the director as well, Rob Hedden, I believe he was also. The three of them were on that commentary for Part 8. So those are the deluxe editions. So there were some new extras that were put out, but the main thing was that Daniel Ferrans stated explicitly they had gone through the Paramount vaults. There was nothing left for them for them to get. And that is where I started thinking, well, there's got to be more stuff, because in 2009, or actually 2008, I purchased the Crystal Lake Memories book by Peter Bracke. In there, during an interview with Greg Nicotero mentions, and this is in the book, that Carl Fullerton from Part 2 had shown him at one point a VHS tape that had the uncut version of the double impalement kill from Part 2. So with that, and that's been in print for a long time, that shows that that footage is out there. It's out there. It's either in the hands of the FX guys, like it is with Carl Fullerton, or it's somewhere in a vault somewhere. That footage is out there. So when I saw that, going back, now I'm going back to that tweet that the Vinegar Syndrome gentleman had mentioned, that he had the work print, and like I mentioned earlier, it seemed like the tweet was just posted, and then when this information started coming out about the new box set, people started going back to that tweet, and then the tweet mysteriously disappeared. So the tweet, I remember seeing a screenshot of the tweet where it did mention that this work print had all of the extra footage. So I started to put two and two together, and I'm pretty sure anybody else who knows this information too. More than likely, what Carl Fullerton had was a work print as well. That's probably what he showed to Greg Nicotero, work print that had all of the extra footage. Now, what condition is the extra footage in? Who knows? It could be like Part 7, which is very grainy, and you can still see mostly everything. Just yesterday, I saw this video that somebody had made 3 years ago, actually, where they spliced the regular HD footage from Part 7 with the footage, with some of the deleted gore footage, and some of this actually doesn't look that bad. There's some of the kills look pretty seamless, actually. I mean, you can tell the difference in quality. It drops big time, but you can still make out what's happening. And I'm thinking, since now I'm going to start scrolling through this finally, that they say product note, additional extras in progress, and will be announced at a later date. So basically what that means there is that we're going to get more extras. Now the big rumor is that we're probably going to be getting some kind of extra footage. I mean, we don't know if it's going to be for all of them. I mean, that was what that tweet had previously mentioned, that there was extra footage for like all the films, and there probably is, because on the deluxe edition for Part 8, there was a quarter-inch tape that Rob Hedden had in his possession that looked very good, and that one had a lot of deleted footage. And when you see that deleted footage on the DVD, or even the Blu-ray collection that came out in 2013, that footage looks excellent. And I neglected to mention the Blu-ray box set, because the films were finally in September, around 2012, 2013. Warner Brothers and Paramount made a deal to where Paramount was going to license films to them. That's when speculation started. Well, what about a Friday the 13th set? Warner Brothers owns Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and Freddy vs. Jason in the remake, and they were going to license stuff from Paramount. Sure enough, in September of 2013, it was announced that, sometime before that, it was announced that there was going to be a box set of all the films. So that came out. I didn't pick that up until 2015. Actually, I got it from Best Buy when it was on sale. And I think that was just before it went out of print, because not long after that, it went out of print. It started commanding crazy money. And I mean, I've liked having that box set. I know that Paramount did release a Blu-ray double features of each film after that, but this was the only way to get all the films together. And then there was also a controversy, because in that box set, Jason Goes to Hell was the theatrical cut on the disc, not the uncut version. But the uncut version, the unedited version, was available digitally. So, and it came with a digital code. So if you redeem the digital code like I did, you got all the films, and you got Jason Goes to Hell unrated through there. So that, and then Paramount, once again, they repackaged, and that's what's been out for about. You can get it for about $20. You can get the first 8 films, and Warner Brothers has the remake. That one's been out on Blu-ray for years, but until now, the only way to get Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell on in disc form here in the States has been through that out of print Blu-ray set. And now, well, of course, we've got the upcoming Scream set that's going to have everything in it, as you can see here. And this is a really marvelous looking set. So going back to talking about the extras, I mean, there's been information that's been said directly from the guys that are handling the set that the coronavirus has impacted the set a bit. That's why they weren't able to announce everything they wanted to announce for it right away. So there's still stuff, and I mean they've mentioned interviews that there's going to probably be some interviews that were conducted either through Skype or Zoom. I know that the Vinegar Syndrome release of Blood Games has an interview with the lead actress, and that one was conducted either through Zoom or through Skype because you can tell that it was conducted through one of those. And through Vinegar Syndrome, they mentioned right before the interview that the quality is not that good. But I mean, this is just me. I thought the quality was pretty good in that interview. So, and if it was conducted through Zoom or through Skype, however, if they have to do interviews like that for the Friday the 13th set, and they look as decent as that interview looked on Blood Games, I'm fine with that. I'm pretty sure everybody else will be fine with that. So, I mean, we don't know what else is going to be on here, but right now, let's scroll through these extras. I mean, look at these really cool posters. And just to say, I pre-ordered it through Shout mostly because they usually have 2 weeks early. They'll send out their stuff, and I mean, I don't get all my stuff directly from Shout, but when it comes to stuff like this, I tend to go directly with them. And I think you get this rolled lithograph and you get a rolled poster. They did the same thing with the Halloween box set when it came out back in 2014. I didn't get it through them directly because I wanted to save some money. I ended up getting it through Amazon for significantly cheaper. But when you have something that's this big, that has this much stuff, and it has these two very awesome looking posters, I mean, to spend a little extra money on it and to make sure you get it from them direct, and what, as you can see here, they scratched out or they put lines through. Originally, it was only going to be the first 1,313 people who ordered would get these posters. Well, the site pretty much crashed for like an hour, so it didn't really crash. I guess that's exaggerating. It was very slow. I didn't put the order in until Tuesday, and as you can see here, now they've increased the quantity to 7,000 units. So the first 7,000 orders are going to get these posters, and the price is a bit much. It's $159, but you got to look at it. This is 12 movies. By comparison, the Al Adamson set was about $170. Yes, that one has 32 movies, but that's the Al Adamson set. This is the Friday the 13th set, and it's got. I mean, look, you can see that it has. All of them have the original poster art, as you can see. Now, one of the things that's also been talked about right here. This is part 5, and you can see a hockey mask there. This is what people have been saying. This is probably, you can actually see it over here. This is the alternate poster art from the European release where it's got Tommy holding the machete and there's Jason's hockey mask. It's not the artwork that most of us grew up with back in the 90s, or we saw the VHS artwork. Well, if I can see where does it say it here? I'm trying to find it here. Let's see. I don't know if I can't find it right now, but what had been stated was some of these come with reversible artwork, and I can bet you that the ones for sure that are gonna probably have the reversible artwork are 8 and 5. Now, 5 will probably have on the reversible side the VHS artwork. 8, and there's a discard right there, may have, and this is just speculation, may have the infamous teaser poster art, which was Jason cutting through the I Love New York poster. They may put that on there. Now, that's not a for sure, but I'm like 99% sure, and no, I'll even go 100% sure the reversible artwork on 5 is going to be the VHS artwork. Now we may get some reversible artwork for part 2 and also part 4 because those two, along with part 5, the domestic posters did contain the original part 2 poster just said Friday the 13th part 2 and it had the Roman numeral part 2, and that's all it had. Part 4, the final chapter, also just had plain text, and so did part 5. Those plain text, those just said Friday the 13th part 5, and there was a tagline for each of these. The part 2 and the part 4 covers that we're seeing here, those are the VHS cover arts, because there's the really nice looking painted drawing of Jason leaping out of the lake from part 2, and there's the girl in the canoe, and it's part 2 Jason, and there's like some cabins nearby. For a long time, I thought that was artwork that was created some time ago. That was in fact original poster art. They were gonna do that for part 2 originally, but they decided not to go with that. That's why we got the Friday the 13th part 2 in Roman numerals font that was placed in lieu of that. And then the VHS art was this one with the outline that's very similar to the one from part 1. And I gotta say, I've always liked the artwork for all of the films. They all look really awesome, especially the first 8. I mean, this is, like I said earlier, this is artwork that we saw on the VHS releases when a lot of us were kids back in the 90s and even the 80s, and this is stuff that we're very fond of. And I'm really looking forward to getting this set in October. So we go down a little further. Now we do have some new extras. A lot of this is stuff that was in the previous Blu-ray and the previous deluxe edition set. But we have here, new to the set, vintage Fangoria magazine article, and it's on the BD-ROM. So I'm looking forward. Several of these have these vintage Fangoria articles, so I'm looking forward to reading those. And I'm gonna have them on BD-ROM. I'm gonna put it on my player so I can read them on my TV. It's a nice, big 55-inch 4K screen that I got last December when they were having or actually I got it in November for the Black Friday sales when TVs were obscenely cheap. And I mean, that's all. If you're working from a budget like I tend to do, you wanna wait for the sales. And I'm so glad I waited because I got it for an obscenely low price. It was very, very cheap. So we've got TV spots, we've got radio spots, and we got the international theatrical trailer. So that stuff is new. And part 1 is going to be on the first 2 discs. And of course, the big thing also is that we've got 4K scans. We've got 4K scans of the theatrical cut and the unrated cut. But it's not just the first film. Part 2 has a new 4K scan. Part 3 has a 4K scan as well. And Part 4, the final chapter, has a 4K scan. Those are the only ones that have been announced as having 4K scans. Now, the speculation is that maybe we might still end up with 4K scans of 6 through 8 and Jason Goes to Hell. That is up in the air right now. Who knows if we'll be getting 4K scans of these other films, or even and I mentioned just because maybe even Freddy versus Jason and Jason X as well. So who knows if we'll be getting 4K scans of those. Excuse me. So we've got also with part 2 a vintage Fangoria magazine article, radio spots, and TV spots. And remember, this is all tentative. This is not all of the extras. We're gonna see, and I saw that it was posted. Late August is when they're going to post the finalized extras for this collection. So we're definitely gonna see more stuff added to all of these. And I wouldn't doubt if we're gonna see some kind of an audio commentary for part 2, because part 2 is the only film of these, I think, the entire franchise that has never had an audio commentary on it. And I mean, if they can't get Steve Miner did an audio commentary for Halloween H2O. Maybe he can. Maybe they got him. Maybe they're trying to get him to do an audio commentary. Maybe they couldn't. But if we can't get him, why not get some of the cast members? Get Amy Steele, okay? Get some of the other people. I mean, if not, they could always get they can get the makeup effects guy, Carl Fullerton, if he'd like to do that. I mean, I'm surprised that nobody's ever tried to get Tom Savini to do an audio commentary for the first film and the fourth one. And it's even more surprising. I'm gonna skip part 3 for a second, go down to the final chapter. And here it is the audio commentary. This is the original audio commentary that was for the deluxe edition release with Joe Zito, Barney Cohen, and Joel Goodman. And I mean, he did an audio commentary. Joe Zito did a commentary on the Prowler with Tom Savini. So I mean, it's not. I don't see why not. Why they can't try to get Tom Savini to do night of commentary with Joe Zito. I mean, this stuff. Excuse me. With everything, with all the technology we have nowadays, they could easily record this over the phone or through Zoom or something like that, and then they can just really. I think over the phone would be actually better, and they can just edit. They can put it together, edit it, and they can put it here on the set. So who knows if that'll happen? That's just me with my wishful thinking. So we got part 3. This is 4K scan from the original film elements. This one doesn't say the original camera negative. That says that right here for part 2, part 1, and part 4 right here. So it says the original elements. I'm assuming that has to do with the fact that this does contain the 3D version. Excuse me, I needed to drink some water. I'm doing so much talking here. And this is the other new big extra, that part 3 has the 3D version. Finally, we're getting a real 3D version. And online, there's been a lot of laughter because a lot of people don't have 3D TVs anymore. I mean, I had a 3D TV for a long time. That has now become a backup TV. It's in one of the other rooms, but it still works. So I mean, most people don't have 3D TVs. But if you have a PlayStation VR headset, that thing can do 3D as well. There's also 3D projectors. If you have a 3D projector, you can watch this in 3D. So I'm looking forward to seeing this in 3D. I still have the glasses that I bought specifically for my old 3D TV, so I'll definitely be watching it through that. Or maybe I bought a PlayStation VR headset for very cheap from a pawn shop a year or two ago. So maybe I'll even watch it through that because I haven't used that thing in a long time. But the other nice thing is the original commentary right here, the one I mentioned previously, that was from Crystal Lake to Manhattan set, is now here on the Part 3 Blu-ray. So they finally brought it back. More new stuff: the vintage Fangoria magazine article, the TV spots, and this stuff that I've been skipping over and been talking about: Lost Tales from Camp Blood, Slash from Going for the Jugular, Legacy of the Mask, Fresh Cuts 3D. That stuff might be new. I really should have looked at my deluxe edition again to double check it. But I know for sure Lost Tales from Camp Blood, that wasn't the deluxe edition. So I'm starting to think a lot of this extra stuff is from the deluxe edition set. But stuff like on part 2, like this Amy Steele podcast interview, that was not on the part 2 deluxe edition. So we'll go down to the final chapter again. It's got that second audio commentary, which if you have not heard this audio commentary and you get this set, or if you have the previous deluxe edition or the previous Blu-ray release that has this audio commentary, you need to listen to it. They also recorded an audio commentary for part 2, and I think they did that on their website. And that one is not here on this set. So I'm thinking maybe they forgot to put it on there, or maybe that's one of the other things that they're leaving out, that they're going to announce further down the road. But I know that they have done an audio commentary for part 2. So we've got this actually Lost Ending. A lot of this stuff was on the deluxe edition release. We've also got a new stuff: vintage Fangoria magazine article, a TV spot, and radio spots. And then of course we have part 5, and this is when we start getting some newer stuff that's not a vintage Fangoria article or a TV spot or a radio spot. We've got an audio commentary with 3 of the ladies from the film. We got with Melanie Kinnaman, the lead, Deborah Voorhees, and Tiffany Helm. Deborah Voorhees played Tina, and Tiffany Helm played Violet. And of course, Melanie Kinnaman was the lead. Her name, for some reason, is escaping my memory right now in the film. But then we have the other audio commentary from the deluxe edition that has Danny Steinman, John Shepard, and Shabir Ross. And then now we have a new audio commentary from Adam Green and Joe Lynch that's going to be for part 5. I can't wait to hear this because part 5 is severely underrated. That's just me. I've also noticed that recently, just like Halloween 3, Friday the 13th Part 5 has been getting a lot of positive feedback on the internet with these past couple of years. I've always liked both films since the 90s. And now they're getting reappraised, and part 5 is just funny. It's funny and silly, and I can't wait to hear these two guys rip into the film because their commentary on part 4 was hilarious, and I know that this is going to be the same thing with part 5. So we've got another vintage Fangoria magazine article and TV spots. Disc 7, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. So we have a new audio commentary, and here's Vincent Guastafaro. He's the one that first kind of broke the news that there was going to be a box set. So it's got Tom Matthews, Carrie Noonan, Cynthia Kanya, and C.J. Graham, the actor who played Jason. And then we've got the 2 other audio commentaries. This one with Tom McLaughlin by himself. That's from the first From Crystal Lake to Manhattan set. And then we've got this second. This is from the deluxe edition, and Vincent Guastafero's in that one as well. And then we've got another commentary with Adam Green and Joe Lynch for part 6. So I'm looking forward to listening to that one as well, which is making me think they probably did record audio commentaries for part 2 and part 3. They just have not announced them for the set yet. Another vintage Fangoria magazine article. Then we've got part 7, The New Blood, and we've got the 2 audio commentaries. This one with, like I had mentioned previously, with John Carl Buechler and Kane Hodder was from the first set, and this one was from the deluxe edition. We've got another vintage Fangoria article and a TV spot. Then we've got part 8. We've got the first commentary with Rob Hedden by himself, and this is him from Crystal Lake to Manhattan set. And then, of course, the audio commentary with Scott Reeves, Jensen Daggett, and Kane Hodder. So that, I thought that it was Rob Hedden, but it's Kane Hodder that's on this audio commentary with them. And then the TV spots is the thing that's new to the set. And then, of course, we've got Jason Goes to Hell, the Final Friday. So it's a 2K scan. So it wasn't 4K. It's a 2K scan of the original film elements for both the theatrical version and radio version. Now they're saying HD inserts. Who knows what they mean by that? But the main thing is it's HD inserts, not SD inserts. It's not standard definition, and they've had to do that with several films through the Scream line. They had to do that with Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Hell Night. So both of those films have standard definition inserts in them. But I mean, they're not as bad as people think they are. I mean, it's nice that we're getting these Blu-rays with this footage at all. And I mean, going back to talking about potential work print footage, that if that looks at least halfway decent, and they want to make some kind of a director's cut or the original, the way it was originally intended before the MPAA cut these things to shreds, I would take that. I'm pretty sure anybody would. I mean, would you rather see it integrated into the film or just see it by itself? I think most people would want to see the footage in the film. I know I would, even if it's a standard definition insert. Excuse me. So we have new interviews with Sean Cunningham, Noel Cunningham, Adam Marcus, and Kane Hodder. A new audio commentary with Adam Marcus and the author of Crystal Lake Memories, Peter Bracke. And then we've got the original audio commentary with Adam Marcus and screenwriter Dean Lorey. And this is actually a really good commentary. I remember hearing it when I rented the DVD years ago when it first came out on DVD. It's a really good commentary. And I'm looking forward to also hearing this new commentary. And we've got the additional TV footage with new optional audio commentary with Adam Marcus and Peter Bracke. Because there was deleted footage from Jason Goes to Hell. There was quite a bit of deleted footage. So who knows if that's going to be added in there as well. We have electronic press kits and TV spots. So Disc 12, Jason X, new interviews with Sean Cunningham, Noel Cunningham, Kane Hodder, Christy Angus, and Todd Farmer. And then we've got the original audio commentary that goes back to the DVD release. The mini live Jason Voorhees. This also goes back to the original DVD release back in 2002. I believe also this one is all this the By Any Means Necessary, Making Jason X is also from that DVD release. Electronic press kit, which is new to the set, the theatrical trailer, and a TV spot. And I remember seeing the TV spots back in the day for Jason X. I saw it opening night, and yeah, it's not a very good film, but it's worth a lot of laughs. This was actually the first Friday the 13th film I got to see in theaters because I mean I was a kid when Jason Goes to Hell came out, but I didn't get to go see that. And then we've got Freddy vs. Jason. So this is all the stuff that was on the original New Line Platinum Series DVD and on the Blu-ray. So, and oh man, I remember seeing this one also at the theater. I saw this midnight show of this. Best midnight show experience I've ever had in my life. It was fun. Everybody was into it. It was great. And then we have Friday the 13th, the remake, or should we say the reimagining, because they take elements from the first four films. Also, this from what I can gather, the remake and Freddy vs. Jason, these are the same discs that have been out forever. And I mean that's par for the course. The Halloween box set used some of the existing discs as well because the Halloween set, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, Halloween 5. Those were mostly the existing discs. I don't believe they made any new extras for those. Maybe for Halloween 4, Halloween 5 they did make new extras, but Halloween 2 and 3 were the same ones that Scream had put out already. So and then they had I believe they were Australian. They were Australian. It was an Australian disc for the Halloween remake, and then they had the same old Sony release for the director's cut of the Halloween 2 remake. Which, and this is just me talking about those. I'm not a fan of the Halloween 2 director's cut remake. I like the theatrical cut way better. That's one of the few times where I can say I like the theatrical cut more than the director's cut. So anyway, going back to this, we have the Freddy vs. Jason Friday the 13th, and then we've got the bonus disc, which has so far these extras. Some of this stuff is from the original From Crystal Lake to Manhattan one. The Secrets Gore Galore, that one, or Secrets Galore Behind the Gore, goes way back to the From Crystal Lake to Manhattan set. So does the Friday the 13th Chronicles. But we have a new interview with Harry Manfredini and new location featured on parts 1 and 2. So this could be a horrors hollowed grounds thing maybe. And of course down here, and here's the Jason Forever one that I mentioned that was on its own little Best Buy DVD bonus disc. I remember people were trying to sell it on eBay for like a lot of money. It's a little 20. This is a 29-minute Q&A with them, and then it says and more to be announced. And then we've got bonus disc number 2. So we got this is some new extra stuff here, and more to be announced. So just the fact that there's 2 bonus discs makes me think that there's going to be a whole lot more stuff. I mean, they really want to justify the high price point on here of the $159 that they're setting on the site. And this is $159.98. They don't charge shipping because they could if you want to get, something higher, but if you want to go just with standard free shipping, there's no charge for the shipping and they don't charge you tax. So it's $159.98. And this is what's going to lead me into the next couple things that I'm going to put on here. if you're still with me. And I'm going to show you some of the pre-orders that are up and the different prices that there are. So right here, this is from Grindhouse Video. And we have the Friday the 13th collection for $134.99. And I believe, I can't remember exactly the ship. I think the shipping starts at like $3. But I think it goes up to like $5 or even $8. So you're right here. Even if it was just $3, you're still looking at $137.99, which is that's just a little bit less than the 159. Then you've got the Best Buy one, which doesn't have an image on here, but it's 139, so it's already more than Grindhouse Video. And I mean, I really like Grindhouse Video. And actually, I have some stuff up here in the cart from their Aero Camp sale that I'm considering getting. But Grindhouse Video is really awesome. I mean, I watch his videos on Facebook, and every Sunday. I don't watch them every Sunday, but I try to watch them every so often. But I mean, he's a really nice guy, and he does right by everybody. And you could always show your support by ordering from Grindhouse Video. And this isn't me like trying to plug him or anything. I don't have. This is just me. I like his website. I like the stuff that he sells. So I mean, and he makes sure to pack things very securely. So if you want to make sure that this set comes in mint condition, you can order from him, and you can order from Diabolic DVD as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of this. And then, of course, we have the Friday the 13th set here. And I didn't think to put in the Diabolic one that was on here. I believe the Diabolic set is $141. I think that's how much it is right now to pre-order. But on Best Buy, it's $139.99. And we have that's without taxes. You're looking at like, I don't know, maybe $8 or $10 on taxes. It's gonna be quite a bit on taxes. So the point of me showing everybody prices here is that regardless, with some of these with the taxes, you're getting close to the price that you can get direct from Shout Factory, and they send stuff in boxes. Every exclusive that I've gotten from them, like the Night of the Creeps exclusive, which I did a video on, everything has always come in a box. It's always come very well packaged. And I mean, there was a point when posters were coming in dented or whatever. They will send you a new one as long as you email them, show them pictures. They'll send you a new one. So I'm not too worried. If I'm pretty sure, like the films that I've gotten, they've always come in mint condition. I'm not too worried. People have been already saying, and I'm going to show the Amazon link right now. People have been worried, and they're saying, well, when it comes up on Amazon, I'm going to order it. Amazon is a crapshoot. Sometimes you get stuff in the bubble mailers. I just got the Arrow Blu-ray of 16 Candles in the mail today, and it came in a bubble mailer. It was in immaculate condition, but that's one film. This is a box set. Maybe it'll come in a box. Who knows? But if you want to make sure you get it in great condition, you need to go with a company like Diabolic or Grindhouse Video or Shout themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one. And then we have the TCM shop. This was like the first link that popped up after the Shout Factory one, and a lot of people have been ordering from this one because, as you can see, it is cheaper. There is there's a coupon code for first time buyer. I think it's like 10% off or 15%. So this is actually, it comes out to I think like $114 or something like that. It comes out pretty cheap. So if you don't want the lithograph and the poster, this is probably the cheapest that you're gonna see it, that you can get it from. So you can get it from the TCM site. We have Bull Moose. They're at $159 right now. Literally, it is 1 cent cheaper than getting it directly from Shout with the lithograph and the poster. I mean, maybe the price might go down. Who knows? But I would say right now, if you're going to order it from Bull Moose, and I got nothing against Bull Moose. I've bought from them plenty of times. But if you're gonna get stuff, if you're gonna pay this price, you may as well get it direct from Shout. And then we've got, this is deep discount. So we've got deep discount. They have it at 129. It says additional shipping charge applies. They do charge for box sets. So it's going to be a little bit more. And they also charge tax. They used to not charge tax, but then they started. So you're looking, I haven't totaled it up, but I'm pretty sure it's around $140 or so. That's how much it's going to be, which is, I mean, going back to Grindhouse Video, you can get it for about the same amount without taxes, unless you live in Florida. And you're going to get it, and it's going to be in a, well packaged box. Because I mentioned the Al Adamson set. I bought the Al Adamson set from Grindhouse Video, and it came very well protected in the box. And then, of course, going back, we have the Best Buy one right here, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So, overall, you've got a lot of different options that you can buy from. I might even have missed some. Like I missed Diabolic. I can't believe I missed Diabolic. I order from them quite a bit as well. But Diabolic has it up also. Like I said, I believe it's for about 141. They have a $5 flat shipping charge, and that means you'll get it for about $146. But even that's pretty close to you just pay a little bit more, about, what is that, 10, that's about $13 more, I think, to get it through Shout. So this, getting it directly from them, and you get the posters, and they might even, and right now they don't have the 2 weeks early like they usually have, because of course is right here they're talking about the coronavirus. They don't have it down here where it says guaranteed 2 weeks early, because they can't guarantee it. But I'm pretty sure that it will get out by October 13th, unless we go into a lockdown again, like what happened previously, or there's replication error, there's replication problems because of lockdowns. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to get this out by October 13th. And right now, the pre-order sales, like I said, have been crazy all over the place. The rumor I read is that they're only making 13,000 copies. Actually, I take it back. I don't think it's a rumor. I think it was in the press release that they made 13,000 units. Now, there's 7,000 for sure here. That means there's only 6,000 that are going out for pre-order to retailers. Whether that's true or not, like it said it on the press release, but nobody has come out and said again, this is strictly limited to 13,000. It just mentioned once. Now you have to go back and remember the Halloween Deluxe Edition was limited, and they didn't mention that. I got that when it first came out. I think it went out of print within a year, maybe 2 years. It went out of print fairly quickly, and a lot of people were waiting, and then they weren't able to get it because they thought that they would have it. Because most of the Shout Factory / Scream Factory deals usually go for about 5 years. But that thing went out of print within a few years. And I have a feeling this is limited. It probably is the 13,000 copies. So you're looking at about maybe 6,000 copies that are going to be sprinkled out throughout the online website. So whoever has it, like the ones I just showed you, you can pre-order from them. So who knows what's going to happen there. But that like with me, I felt safer getting my pre-order with Shout themselves, so that way I know that I'm locked in. I have my pre-order; it's not going anywhere, and I'm not going to run the risk of, oh, we have to cancel your order because we're at our pre-order cap. So this is a really great looking set. I can't wait to get it, and I will definitely be making a video on this when I get it in October. So this is Brannigan's Law. I'm happy to do this video. I hope everybody is still with me. I talked for a very long time, but I wanted to do something different. So I'll see you all in the next video, and I'll try to put together I have plenty of stuff that I've bought, so I'll show off some of the films that I've done for, there won't be haul videos exactly, but it'll be some of the films I've gotten in the past couple of months. So See y'all in the next video.